Hello everyone, this is XCorp9 bringing you the Soulburner structure deck opening and review. We're gonna be reviewing the archetype Salaman Grade. It's right now, so in a lot of people's opinion, the next meta deck. I could see it topping. It has topped a couple of tournaments this weekend, some ARGs, and I believe the PPG made some too, but I'm not too sure. But anywho, let's see what we pull. Let's see what's in the box actually, not pull, because we already know mostly everything in there. We're just gonna be reviewing all the new cards, all the Salaman Greats, their links and the monsters. The rest is just like fodder to fill up the 40 card deck. Of course, you see the rule book there, which if you know a little bit about Yu-Gi-Oh, you don't need to read that. Then you got the mat, paper mat, of course. They're a little bit cheap. And then here's the deck. So we're gonna zoom in right now to the card, and we're gonna be reviewing the first card from the front of the pack. Salaman Great Heat Leo. Link 3, two or more fire effect monsters. If this card's link summon, target one card your opponent's spell and trap card, shuffle it into the deck. Once per turn during your main phase, if this card was link summoned using another Heat Leo as a material, target one face on monster on the field and one monster in your graveyard. The attack of the first target becomes equal to the other's tag until the end of the turn. They have if you guys didn't know, Salamangreat has something called, I forgot their linking, but pretty much is relinking, as I call it. They're gonna do a Heat Leo. They're gonna use, I believe, their field card that we'll review later on. You could use the same Heat Leo to link 3 into another one to gain the additional effect. It's pretty good. I mean, can't complain. I like the effect, but the relinking part, it has a little bit of a drawback because I'll explain to you later. So on the next card that we have is Salamangreat Belenix. Any level 4 lower Cybers monster doesn't really. Oh, fuck! I was seeing the wrong card. There we go. Belix. It's any level 4 lower Cybers monster. If this card is link summon, you can add one Salaman Great Sanctuary from your deck to your hand. Pretty much is the field card that you use to relink them. And if a Salaman Great card or cards you control will be destroyed by battle by card effect, you can banish these cards from your graveyard instead. Pretty much protects destruction. You can only use each effect of Banelix once per turn. It's not that bad. It's any Cybers, mostly gonna be used with Salamangreat, but you could use Lady Debug, link into it, and then gains the effect. Or I mean, you could link into Balenix with Lady Debug and gain the effect. Then the next one we have is Salamangreat Mega Gestalio. That's the horse. Exceed rank 3. You could detach one material monster from this card. Special summon one Salamangreat monster from your deck in defense position. Also, you cannot activate monster effects for the rest of this turn except for fire monsters. This Exceed summon card is sent to the graveyard as a material for the link summon of a Salamangreat monster. Could target monster on the field, return it to the hand. You can only use each effect of Mirage Stalio once per turn. So it has 2 effects. You can use both effects once per turn. It's pretty good. It's not that bad, but I mean, it's pretty much an extender for them. Then we have Salamangreat Gazelle. It's a you run 3 of them. If a Salamangreat monster is sent to the grave, except for itself, except during the damage step, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal or special, you can send one Salamangreat card from your deck to the grave, except itself. You could use each effect of a Gazelle once per turn. You mostly gonna want to special summon Gazelle just by sending it with sending a Salamangreat from your hand to the grave, and it's already in the grave, of course. We're explaining this in another video when we make our competitive Salamangreat deck, at least to our version. And then you have Salamangreat Spinny. If you control any Salamangreat card, could be Trap and Spell, you can discard this card to target one monster on the field. It gains 500 attack until the end of this turn. And if you control a Salamangreat monster other than itself, and this card's in the grave, you can special summon it but banish it when it leaves the field. You only can use each effect of spinning once per turn. Pretty much fodder. Then you have Salamangreat Circle. It's the Rhoda. It lets you add any Salamangreat monster from your deck to your hand. The second effect is for the protection for the Link monster, but you only could use Circle once per turn, and you only could use the effect one or the other for that turn. So you can't activate two and use both effects, as in one you add and the other one you activate, you target one. No. That's why it's kind of a quick play, because the second effect is mostly during your opponent's turn, and you could actually set it with one of the monsters that we later on review. And then we have their counter trap, Salamangreat Roar. And when a spell, trap, or monster effect is activated, when you at least control a Salamangreat Link monster, negate the activation and destroy it. And when this card's in the field, if a Salamangreat Link monster is Link summoned to your field using monster with the same name as material, or as known as relinking, as I call it, you can set this card but banish it when it leaves the field. You only could use one Salamangreat Roar effect per turn and only once per turn. This card is just like the Gravekeeper's counter trap. It's good, but they killed it. It's good because it negates anything, but you got to be careful when you play this card, because either you go for the negation for that turn, or you link into, or I mean, more like you relink your monster and you set it from your grave to reuse it again. Now, pretty much you want to activate to negate on your opponent's turn, and then during your turn, you want to relink to add it back. That's pretty much how the card works, but it's still situational because you never know what happens in the game. And that's it for the hollows. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hollows. Now we're gonna start with Salamangreat Raccoon. And then what it does is when your Salamangreat monster is targeted for an attack by an opponent monster, you can send this card from your hand to grave, target 2 monster every battle, gain life points equal to the attack of the opponent monster. Also, your target monster cannot be destroyed by battle of this turn. When your Salamangreat monster destroys an opponent monster, send it to grave, or this card in grave, you can add it back to your hand, and you can use its effect once per turn. I don't really see a lot of the people that won tournaments the weekend that came out using this card. The fact that the only thing that's good about it is you gain life points and your monster doesn't get destroyed by battle. But there's other cards that does more work than Raccoon. So I could see if anything you want one of, because especially you could just recycle it back with its own effect. Then we have Salamangreat Mole. During your main phase, if you link summon this card, you can special summon this card from your hand to a zone a link monster points to. If you control no monster, you can banish this card from the grave, then target 5 Salamangreat cards, not just monsters, give you spells and traps, in your graveyard, shuffle them into your deck, and you draw 2 cards. You can only use each effect of Mole once per turn. So it's pretty good. I actually like it. I don't see a lot of people actually running it. But when you leak summon, you can if you have it in your hand, just special summon it on one of the link below, one of the link arrows below. It's pretty good extender. Plus it recycles, and remember, it says any 5 cards. It could be spell traps or even your other link monsters, and it doesn't say main deck. So which means you could recycle your extra deck or your link Salamangreat monsters, return them, and then you still draw 2 from your main deck. That way you put less back in. I would say at least run one of them, maybe two, but two's already pushing it. It's pretty good. Then you got foul, and it's pretty much an extender because of a Salamangreat monster, except for itself, is normal or special summon. So you special summon this card from your hand. You only could use this effects once per turn. And then you can send one Salamangreat card from your hand or face up in the grave, face up in the field to the grave. Then target one set spell or trap your opponent controls, and that said card cannot be activated this turn. Pretty much, you're only gonna run it to extend. You hardly gonna use the second effect because honestly, it's kind of a not a waste, but it's not that much of a plus either. You pretty much is stunning that they can't use that one card. Now, if that one card that you're afraid of and you know what it is, for example, it could be an evening match, it could be, I don't know, a solemn, and I mean, then by all needs, if you know what it is, stop. I mean, use its effect to stun, and they won't be able to stop you. But other than that, I only see it as an extender. Then we have Beat Bison, which I like. It's a beat stick, it's a level 8, and when you have 3 or more Salamangreat monsters in your grave, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position. You can target one Fire League monster. Oh, actually, you could target Fire League monsters in your graveyard up to the face-up cards your opponent controls. Return them to the extra deck. Then you can negate the effect of all face-up cards your opponent controls until the end of the turn, up to the number of cards you return. You can only use each effect of Beat Bison once per turn. I honestly would say run one, because one, it's a beat stick. Two, as long as you have 3 or more Salamangreat monsters in your grave, you special summon it in defense. So you don't. It could be any 3 monsters, and then you special summon him. You could special summon. There's like a bunch of combos you could do, and then I like his second effect that you return all your extra deck monsters that you had in your grave, and you stun your opponent's face-up cards, and it could be Boral Swords, Borload, um, 2 Dracos if they get affected by it. I mean, they don't have Masterpiece, but the spells and traps would work. Alta Guys, there's a bunch of things. I mean, I see it like a 1-up. A lot of people are not running it, but I do see potential discard. Then you have Mirror. When this is pretty much when it gets added to your hand, you special summon, because this is what it does. This card is added to your hand except by drawing it from your normal draw phrase. You can reveal this card and special summon it from your hand. Or if this card's in your hand, you can discard one other Salamangreat card, special summon this card from your hand. You can only use each effect of Mirror once per turn. Now, let's say it's already in the grave. Use its the second effect, pitch, add. Guess what? Since it was added, it doesn't say from where. You can special summon it from your hand right off the bat. If you have nothing else that's good in your hand that you need pitching. I don't see a lot of people running it. Part is it's a level 2, not a 3. So they can exceed into it, but you could link with it into the link 1. You could do Belenex. And it's a simple spam. It's a simple floater if I see it, but we'll see why they don't run it later on. Then we have Salamangreat Foxy. When this card is normal summon, excavate, which means search the top 3 cards of your deck, and if you do, you can add one of those cards that says Salamangreat to your hand. If this card is in your graveyard and a face-up spell trap card is on the field, could be yours or your opponent, you can discard one Salamangreat card, special summon this card from the grave. Then you could destroy one face-up spell and trap card on the field. You only could use Foxy effect once per turn and only once per turn. So this is a hard one-of. This is one of the cards that if you're playing against Salamangreat, you gotta be careful that they don't do illegal plays with. As it says, you only could use one of those effects once per turn. You cannot use both effects once per turn. So you're either gonna normal summon and search, or you're gonna pitch, destroy, and special. You can't do both. And a lot of people do misplay on that. You have Falco, pretty much is sent to the grave, doesn't say how. Target one spell trap Salamangreat card in your grave, and you set that target to your field. Pretty much, I was explaining about the quick play spell that adds. If this card's in your grave, you target one Salamangreat monster you control, except itself, return that monster to their hand, and if you do, you special summon this card. You can only use its effect once per turn, and only once that turn. Pretty much like I as Foxy, it's one or the other. Be careful. People sometimes misplay, cheat, whatever, and they get away with it. Just like always read your cards, because they could only either target one grave and add it to your field, or you pitch to special. They can't do both. Then you have Jaguar. This it has piercing damage. If you control a link monster while this card's in your grave, you can target one monster in your grave except itself. So you return that to the deck and you special summon this. And you could use both effects once per turn. So this one you could I don't know why it says two effects. I only see one because technically the first one is just piercing damage. It's more like a continuous effect because it just says it pierces. Doesn't say how many times. And then the second one says is just telling you how it works. So pretty much only has one effect because the other one is just passive or continuous, whatever you want to call it. So pretty much it only has one effect, and I can use it once per turn. Pretty much is what it is. Recycle another Salamangreat back to your deck, and then special summon it. They use one of it, so it's not that bad. It's pretty good extender. Then you have Wolfie. A monster that was linked summoned using this card as material cannot be destroyed by battle by card effect for the rest of that turn, so it gives you a little bit of protection. Then can use one of the following effects once. It's a hard one, so you either do the first one, which is if this card is special summoned from the grave, you target one fire monster in your grave and add it to your hand, or you do the second one, which is this card is added from the grave to your hand by an effect. You could reveal it and then you add an additional fire monster back to your hand. You probably want to do the second one to have more resource, but in any case, you only could do one. And remember, it's just like Wolf, Foxy, and I think Wolf. No, this is Wolf. It's just like Foxy. Be careful. Make sure they only do once and only that once. Then you have Peril. It's pretty much when your opponent attacks, declares an attack. It doesn't mean directly or to a monster. Just the attacks. Special summon it from your hand in attack position, and when it's special summon, you target one Salamangreat monster in your grave, and it gains that attack of that monster. So it depends what you have in your grave. It'll get boosted up, and then you contribute this card, gain 2,000 life points. You can only use this effect once per turn. So especially right now with how Yu-Gi-Oh has that time extension, that last turn and everything. Let's say clock hits 0, main phase 2. You see that you're a little bit low on life points. Tribute Peril, and guess what? You may win. You actually would win due to time, and you have more life points. Dick way to win, but in this game you gotta win any way you can. I would say 1-1. Now you have Foxer. If you have 3 or more Salamangreat monsters in your graveyard, you can send this card from your hand to their grave, target one Salamangreat League monster in your grave, and one card in your opponent's present trap. Return the targeted monster from your grave to the extra deck, and if you do, destroy the spell trap card on the field. If this card's in your opponent, if a card it's in your opponent's spell trap card is destroyed and sent to the grave, while this card's in your grave, you can special summon this card in defense, and it can use one Foxer effect per turn, only once per turn. It's another hard on. It's another hard once per turn. You either do the first one, which if you have 3 more, recycle one link from your grave, special summon it, and then pop the back. Or you pop the back row of your opponents with something else. It's already in the grave and it's special summons. You mostly want to do the second one because the first one is mostly to recycle, to reuse. So it depends on the situation. Just be careful they don't do it twice, each effect, because it's a hard once per turn. As in, they only could do one thing. And then that's it for the Salamangreat monsters. These are just fodders. You have True King, the Vanisher. Pretty much, you destroy two fire cards on your hand. You special summon this, and if you do it, banish one monster from your opponent's field or graveyard. If both of the monsters that you destroyed from your hand are fire monsters, and the second effect is you add one non-fire worm. Pretty much, the only thing you do is you special summon to pop and banish. Uh, People don't run it, honestly. It's a good card though. Kaiju, you can't go wrong with Kaiju. Problem is you can't kill it if you give him this Kaiju. That's why a lot of people done Gamma Seal, because this guy has a big attack, but it gets rid of stuff. Flamethrower Fire Dog, they only did this to, I guess, special summon. I don't know what Salamangreat monster has 200 attack. Foul is one of them. Mo is another target. And that's it. You only have two targets, and it's Mo or Foul. And I don't know if that's even worth it, because it has to be destroyed by battle too. So it's in this day and age in Yu-Gi-Oh, those effects don't work for shit anymore. This card it just burns. It's crap. It's just filler. Inferno, you banish a fire, you special summon it. I guess you could say it works. A little bit of synergy to lean, because it's a fire effect monster. But other than that, it's not that great. Now, this is a card a lot of people want deck for: Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. In my opinion, it's too slow for the freaking game, because everything adds up the ass. It's better now. Hand traps that works. You got Drone Lockbird coming back. It works better now. You have um, the new hand trap, the Thanos Dragon one from Savage Strike. Since everyone's using Salamangreats and they're linking a lot too. Um, it's still, I would say, it stuns. It does not stop. And a lot of decks, stunning does not work. You need to stop them. So it's a good reprint, but honestly, I feel like they reprinted it after it's already been abused and used. Right now, it's not that great, but it's a good reprint. Red Resonator, it's just filler. Skip that shit. Volcanic Shell, it's pretty much your discarding thing, but it's crap. I mean, doesn't have synergy with the deck. Gives you two. Now you have Format Skipper, which honestly I'm surprised, because it could work for you, because it depends on how you like your Salamangreat build. Because this is what it does: during your main phase, you reveal one link monster in your extra deck, and if you do, when your link summon this turn, you can treat this card as a link monster. So let's say I'm gonna treat it as Helio. Guess what? It becomes Helio. So when you do the relinking, as I call it, use itself, and then there you go. Bam, you got your Helio without wasting two Helios. That's pretty much what it does. It gains the name, the attack, the attribute as a real monster. Then when this card is sent from the grave to the it's just sent to the grave as an ink material monster. You add one level 5 higher or level 5 or higher Cyber's monster from your deck. You can only use its effect once per turn. Now, if you use it somehow in your deck, and in the Salamangreat deck, and you use it somehow and it works, and you're like, okay, all right, so it copies whatever. But on the second effect, what am I able to add that's Salamangreat that's level 5 or higher? A lot of people's like, I don't know. Is there any targets? There's one target. And guess what? You already have 3 more Salamangreat monsters in your grave. You special summon it. So, I mean, does it work? Who knows? I don't see it on the competitive scene at the moment. I do not know why. I'm probably missing something, but I do see some potential. I may be wrong, but I mean, other than that, that's all the monsters, because we're about to hit the spells. The first spells we see is Salamangreat Claw. You only equip this to a Salamangreat monster. The equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effect, and if it attacks, it pierces. If it's in defense position, and then if the equipped monster is a Salamangreat Link monster that's been relinked again during each battle phase, it can make more attacks up to the number of link ratings. So if you Helio relink into another Helio, you equip Claw, it could attack 3 times. And I mean, and it cannot die, and then it pierces, so it's pretty good. And then if you combo it with, I believe, what? If you combo it with Raccoon, I believe. Was it Raccoon? No. Falcon? No. I forgot. One of the Salamangreat monsters actually boosts it, which we'll check later on. And then we have the field card, Salamangreat Sanctuary. They only won one of them because it's searchable, and it says the following: if you link summon a Salamangreat Link monster, you can use that same Link monster you control with the same name as the entire material. So, like I said, relinking. During damage cap, your opponent mounts a battle, pay 1,000 life points, attack one Link monster you control. Make it 0, and if you do, you gain life points equal to your original attack. You can use each effect once per turn. If you're playing against Salamangreat, you have to hit this card. They rely on this card a lot. And guess what? They only won one. The best bet you could do to this, you banish this field card. Once it's banished, they can't relink. Half of their bonus effects will be gone because they only won one. And honestly, it's a good card. I would see running 2. Not 3, 2. It's super searchable in this deck. You only need 2, because guess what? That one, they will destroy it some way or somehow. But people still don't know how this deck works yet. And guess what? A lot of people are doing that. They're running just one of the field card. You banish it, it's done. They won't be able to do more combos. They're going to be doing standard play. Miss one?
No.
Oh. Then you have no. Put it back.
You sure?
Yeah. We'll just skip that one. I thought they were in different order. Monster Recognition sucks. We have the Salamangreat. It's pretty good, honestly. This is one of the good cards that I like from them. During your main phase, you can special summon one Salamangreat monster from your hand or graveyard. You can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard, then target one Salamangreat Link monster you control that was link summoned or that was re-linked, and then you special summon a monster from the hand or graveyard in defense up to the number of monsters of that link rating. You can only use Will of the Salamangreat effect once per turn, only once per turn. Honestly, I would use the secondary effects the most, but if you try your combos all the way and you can't do the second effect, then at least go with the first one. But remember, this is a one heart of you either do the one or the other. You can't do both, so be careful. Make sure they don't do illegal plays or cheat on you with this card, because it's a common mistake that happens. Now, honestly, I prefer the second one, like I stated. You link into Helio, you have the field card. You link into Helio, you have the field card. Relink again, then use Will, then put monsters in the bottom because it has link arrows. Oh no, it doesn't even need to be in the link arrows. Just link rating. It's a link 3. You put 3 in the field. We link it to other stuff. It's pretty good card. I honestly think this is one of the cards that that makes the deck top, because it just recycles. You have Circle of the Fire King. Target 1 5 monster control and 1 in your grave. This was the first one, especially the second one. I'll say I'm iffy. You're losing because the first thing is a cost, and then if they negate it with, I think is Ghost Bell, well, you have no field. So I'll say it's a maybe. Transmodify, just like Circle, it's a maybe because there's better cards you could add. Now, this is the card I'm surprised they put, Link Bound. pretty much returns a link monster you control into your graveyard, return it back to the extra deck, and you draw according to the link's rating. Then you return that number back to your deck, but at the bottom in any way you want. It's another maybe. I do like the idea because you do link a lot. You can recycle your links, but I mean it's just a Saruja, but -1 instead of a +1 because you don't get to add one more card. You just reshuffle in your hand, and honestly, I don't believe that's good. Magic Planner, you barely have a couple continuous trap cards in this deck, so it doesn't really work. Now you have Salamangreat Rage. Remember, you only can use one of the two effects once per turn. You either send one Salamangreat monster from your hand or face up in the field to the grave and target one card and destroy it. Or you target one Salamangreat Link monster you control that was relinked and destroy your opponent destroy cards your opponent control up to the link rating, which if it's Helio, it'll be up to 3. Remember, only once per turn. You can activate this card and only can use one of those two effects, not both. Then you have Salamangreat Gift, which is the draw power. I kind of like it, honestly. It's slow because it's a trap, but it's pretty good because all you got to do is discard one Salamangreat monster. So you send another one from your deck to the grave. Then you draw one card. So it's like you're foolish. Or the second effect, which if you control a Salamangreat League monster that was relink, you could discard one Salamangreat monster and then you draw 2. But you only could use one of those 2 effects. So you're either gonna just draw one and add stuff to the grave to, expand or float, or you're gonna do the second one to just draw more to see what you pull. It's not that bad. I like it. Transmigration Prophecy. It's not really that good. Threatening Roar. It's maybe for beginners. Break off Trap Hole. It only works if you have nothing pure links, but there's stuff better than that, right? Like Regeki, Backfire. This is not a burn deck. Just because it's fire, don't make it a burn deck. Goes in Match. It's a good trap card to have for a side, because each player can only control one attribute monster. Now, if you don't like Goes in Match, then you could have Rivalries of the Warlords. Maybe the extra deck would be not different attributes, but I'll be all Cybers. So we'll see how that works. But Goes in Match is a good side if you go in mono, which includes the extra deck, and it would screw up a lot of top decks like True Dracos, some Danger Old Cost, or some Sky Strikers, or Altergeist too, because they have different attributes. Then you have another copy with a different art, Heat Leo. A Flame Exterminator pretty much just gives your Link monsters 800 more attack. I mean, maybe, I don't know. And then you have Doolittle Chimera, which is just a fire booster, and then when it's sent to the grave, you add one fire monster, which I don't really feel that it's that great. Now, I mean, that's it for the review for the structure deck. I will be posting up a video of how I would run this deck competitively. Honestly, as you saw, you get mostly everything you need. Of course, you need to buy a bundle of 3 in order to make at least somewhat a competitive deck. There's other cards you gotta mix there from other sets too. It all depends on how you like to run it, but I'll be uploading what I believe how I would run this deck and for the reasons why and what the combos are. Other than that, thank you so much for watching my video. Sorry if it was too long or too boring. This is how I like to do the structure decks, review the cards that are actually good, that people want, and stuff like that. Please leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't before, and give us a like. And then any suggestions on what you'd like to see in the future, just let us know. Thank you so much and have a good day.